That's what we're really gonna have to do. What I was thinking though is adding like some arrows in the ground. Thought that'd be cool to add like a nice little touch. So we'll see how they're going. I don't know. I'm really thinking about changing. I really think about changing this. I was talking about my OC. Yeah, I know. I remember your OC. I remember your OC. Actually clean this up. This is the one that I forgot to work on because I was working on this one so much. I really neglected this one, so it looks like we might have to work on this today. Good thing I do have a side profile of him, so I know what he looks like from the angle. Let's see. Yeah, let's bring you down. What the heck? Okay, and I need this one. Very good. from the eyebrow, there's like this angle, and it goes up like this. On him anyway. Like right here, if you can see that angle. Kinda didn't realize I was muted, but give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, we're back. We are back. Excuse me. Excuse me. excuse me. Okay, so, I kind of got carried away with this drawing, cause like I said, I was only gonna do like 3, but then I just had an idea for another like angle, you know, showing his ability a little bit, and yeah, looks like it's gonna be a lot crazier than I expected it to be. That's what it seems like. Because now I'm already thinking about like I need like a different angle of him using it, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like a top down, maybe like a low down, maybe like underneath a little bit. I don't know. This is still like we're still playing around with this. Cause it's not really his body type yet. Just trying to adjust it, you know? Trying to make it more him, you know? But yeah, I got carried away. Even the hands kind of being off. Like I don't even know why I had to do this to myself, you know. But like I said, I felt like it needed something. And his other eye also. I think I'm gonna have it start to bleed also. a lot of different things. But this is what happens to me, you know. This was supposed to be a quick, simple boom. Wait, boom, boom, boom. You know, that was it. That was all we were going to do. And then ended up having to add more. I have to even adjust the abs too to get them on point because they're kind of crooked. Alright. Let's go. Wait, what? Am I the same? Oh, I am. Okay. Guess I just need more pressure, huh? Boom, boom, boom. Down. And then we have the same on each side. Just come down here. And then here. And serratus muscles. Pretty sure that's what it's called anyway. And we'll come down from like right here, and then this right here up here is where we'll add the muscles. I didn't know they were up here. Uh-oh, now I have to tweak the one that's on mine, because I feel like I made them a little too low. And on this side, it'll come out this way. Laura's very sad. Why is it's not just you, Lucian, but like, why does everybody got sad lore for their characters? Can't we just make some happy people? I think I'm gonna do like a, I mean, not really a challenge, but like a show your happy OC, you know, your OC that has no trauma backstory, just peace, you know. I'm gonna do one of those. Alright, so right here. What? Oh wow, that's what I forgot to charge. I charged the pencil, the tablet, but I forgot to charge the pencil. Of course I forget something. I have to fix this. The arm. Still our sketch anyway, so I'm just trying to get a good understanding of what's going on here. I mean, yeah, but characters could also have flaws without having trauma, you know? Now, I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong, by the way, because a lot of my characters have trauma also, quote unquote. So yeah. No, not like that. It's like down, put like a little. What happened? What did you do? I want to put like a smoke cloud, like some, especially because his ability has to do with ash. It'd be really cool to add like some, especially since it's like nighttime. I showed it in this. Oh wait, I guess it's lighter here, isn't it? But it's nighttime in the scene, so it'd be cool to show. But that's why I feel like it's a little boring, you know. I'll have to add burn. And yeah, some on his side also, right? On his arms. What's up, bro? How's it going? I ended up adding another scene. You know what I ended up doing? But I turned it off. I drew her again, like in a different angle, but I wasn't liking it, so I kept it like this. Right? I don't know, man. And I added this too, because I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like, because this is what literally happened, bro. Literally happened. Okay? So I was sitting down, bro, I was like sketching this one out, right? And then I heard this song, right? And I instantly thought about him, like, you know, and then I put my arm up like that, and I was like, oh, that'll be cold. So, so I had to draw it, man. I was like, hold up, man. Like, I put my arm up like that, leaned in a little bit. I was like, ooh, and then yeah. That's how it happened. That's how it happened. Let's turn this off though. Right here. Like, honestly, this is still a sketch, like I mentioned, but I'm still trying to refine it a bit more. Like how this is pretty refined. And by the way, he is like a punk kind of character, which is why, you know, he has the spikes, he has the bedazzled peens, you see his piercings and everything. So, and I had to add like the effects and everything. I was thinking of doing like some cool, like a cool like what do they call it? Impact frame. I don't know. Listen, I'm not doing no animation in that, but I was thinking like a cool little, you know, something crazy, you know. That's the thought. But like looking at it, cause like I have to bring that part in a bit. And the foreshortening ain't too bad, you know. Listen, it ain't the best thing, but it's not too bad. Hand is obviously bigger than the head. I could push it even more, I think. Liquefy that hand. Even though the hand looks terrible. Excuse me. What's today's date? 21. 21 of what? April? No, I'm stupid. May 21. What's the date? Today's Tuesday? Is today Tuesday? Oh my goodness, no. Hold on, I gotta watch this real fast. I gotta hear his thoughts.
Like her, I got a ball. But I tell you this, she's Storm as much as I am Miles Morales. No. So, a few weeks ago, there was a rumor. Like her, I got a ball. But I tell you this, she's Storm as much as I am Miles Morales. No. So, a few weeks ago, there was a rumor coming out that she wanted to play Storm. And actually, there was a clip floating around, so you found out that wasn't a rumor, it was true. First saying she wanted to play Storm. Rumor! Marvel eyeing Wicked star Cynthia Erivo, however you pronounce it, for Storm in the MCU X-Men reboot.
Oh my god.
A casting disaster
We had Halle
in the
Berry,
making.
and then we had
You
that
damn
one girl.
right, that Park Place. What? 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 What?
Crap, the pen is
What?
bugging.
What? Oh my god. Let's take a look at this article. As Marvel Studios desperately attempts to steady its footing after years of declining box office returns, and it still hasn't been working, and fan frustration, a new rumor threatens to derail the comeback before it even begins. According to industry scooper, My Time to Shine, hello, which I believe is a female. I heard
Look at Storm
a couple
there.
of people say that. A lot of people don't know.
Like, look at Storm there. How could you even think this is a good idea? Look at Storm right there. Oh my gosh. All right, let's just play. Let's play. You play. I ain't gonna say
That
nothing.
My Time to Shine Hello is actually a female. So, Wicked star Cynthia Erivo. I'm gonna say Erivo. I think Erivo.
And this is
better,
yesterday too.
Is
Today's
being
21.
eyed to play Storm in the upcoming X-Men reboot. Potentially one of the most important and influential films in the next chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, this is
100% not.
an unverified rumor, so as always, take it with a grain of salt.
I know, but I feel like
follows in
I know you can say take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, I feel like with how Marvel's been moving, it's not crazy to say that's something they do.
Erivo, I keep wanting to say Revo. Erivo's own public campaign for the role. In an interview with the National Board of Review, she called Storm her dream role. Since you're recasting people that were already in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, RDJ, as other characters, going from Iron Man to Doctor Doom, why don't you get Angela Bassett to play an older Otherworld Storm? A multiverse Storm. Everyone wanted her to play Storm. We know she can do it. A to play to Doctor Doom. Why don't you get Angela Bassett to play an older Otherworld Storm?
Bassett. Black Panther.
A multiverse Storm. Everyone wanted her to play Storm. We know she can do it. Get her to play Storm, okay? If not, Jade Cargill. Get her. Talk to WWE. Get her some time off. If she can't act, get her some acting lessons and bring her on in, because she is perfect for Storm. I really want to play Storm, she said. I know it sounds frivolous, but I think we haven't uncovered how grand she is and all of the inner turmoil that she has. While her enthusiasm may seem harmless on the surface, the reality is far more complicated.
I'm about to turn on
Erivo is no stranger.
Give me a second. It is hot. Hello, Sean, but you got a good point on this. What? Nah, he tough read.
Due to controversy, she has repeatedly found herself in hot water over the years due to public outbursts
I'm gonna make it
and
look
aggressive
cool, though.
postures toward
Like
fans.
right now, it's still a
Most
sketch.
notably during the Wicked poster
Yeah.
Backlash, when she lashed out at harmless fan edits, the fan covered her eyes to more closely resemble the Broadway poster of the musical's promotional art, calling them degrading and hurtful and the most wildly offensive thing she has ever seen. That's going way too far, in my opinion. Kind of like the people that you see in the comments or on Twitter. It's like, what were you thinking to even think that? And how did you find that offensive? And are now attacking people for it. Like, it goes along with that group of, people that unfortunately have a lot of mental illness. Rather than engage in good faith or brush off the minor incident, she chose to escalate, condemning fans and alienating the potential supporters in the process. I didn't know that she doubled down on it. She also put herself over the other women who have played Elphaba in the past, including original Elphaba and Dina Menzel, solely due to her orientation and race.
Oh my god.
This kind of behavior has become a pattern. Yarivo has built a reputation, not just as an actress, but as a performer who frequently centers her race, sexuality, and personal identity politics in both her work and her public persona, rather than play a role and embody that role. Yarivo consistently tried to force the role to embody her. You're not supposed to do that. And that's something that's going on with some of the backlash that James Gunn is getting. Crypto is not crypto, and a lot of people have issues with it. I really didn't, but I understand why people do. I mean, you talk about all this, oh, it's ripped right out of a comic book. Look what he's doing. But is crypto? No, he's not. So it is what it is. We shall see if the movie will be good, though. She even stated that Elphaba's micro
Are any of you guys looking forward to
in
Superman?
Wicked were meant as a way to show what was underneath the green. See, we all told you it was a race thing, and that's why she was cast. We all told you that. Didn't believe us, did you? I didn't want to remove myself from Elphaba, she said. I wanted to connect the two. That may align with the industry's current messaging priorities, but for Marvel, it's a powder keg waiting to blow. Storm is not just another character in X-Men.
I really am. Oh, really?
Is
like,
one of the
really
most
excited for this.
iconic heroes in Marvel Comics. Ororo Munro commands immense respect from the fan base.
The cast is perfect.
She's a weather-controlling goddess, a team leader, a symbol of resilience. Her introduction to the MCU is not just inevitable, it's foundational. Whoever is cast must unite audiences, not divide them. Very well put. Very well put. And Revo's history suggests that instead of elevating the character, she risks making the role all about herself. Something fans have already grown tired of after years of identity-first casting decisions that seem to prioritize PR optics over storytelling, and at a time when Marvel desperately needs to reconnect with its fan base, choosing an actress with a track record of antagonizing the very people who buy tickets might be the studio's most baffling move yet. Yes, so leave it alone. Marvel, if you were even considering it, leave it alone. Okay? It would be a very, very bad decision. Okay? In my opinion. Have the fans been wrong before? Yes, we have been wrong before, but in certain instances, we've definitely been correct. Brie Larson. Oh, my God. Preach this nigga. Oh God.
The first time we got to see Gardner in a live action. I didn't even see the trailer. I saw the teaser, but I didn't see the trailer. Should we watch the trailer? Should we watch the trailer right now? Let me watch the trailer. Let me say it. I'm about to get copyrighted for this. 100,000%. I'm gonna send a letter to Titan though. Superman. Official trailer. DC or Warner Brothers. I'm gonna press DC, even though they in the same family. Okay. All right.
Are you being?
Yo, not bad. It actually does look like him.
Sure.
All right, I can see that being a Superman. I got some chills there. It looks good. It looks good. I think I like it more than the teaser. I mean, obviously the teaser is just a little taste before we get the trailer, but I definitely like it more than the teaser. This actually makes me more excited to watch it, I'd say, and that's technically what trailers are for. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. All right. Because I remember seeing like a little clip of Tyrone watching it. Not watching it, but talking about it. So I was like, And I saw like he reacted to it, but I didn't watch it. But it looks pretty interesting. This thing is glitching out. Okay, Dave. It looks good though. I can honestly say recently. I mean, I didn't even watch that movie to be honest, but I heard the DC universe was getting rebooted anyways. I was like, is there even a point of watching it? I guess not. But now, since Superman's the beginning, right? Isn't Superman the beginning of the new DCEU? So I guess I might have to check it out. I might wait until you guys check it out and you guys tell me if you guys think it's good or not. I might need to add a little bit more. Let me see what he's looking like. Looks like it tapers in a little bit on this side. Yeah, I like that. And then this part comes down. Right. I feel like I have to bring it down a little bit too, like I said. It's good to know. Good to know. Yo. Yeah, I feel like I had it a little too high on me. And since that arm is up, I think it's fine to do it that way. And we can even have the... Wait, wrong. you guys have any? I mean, I don't know if you would know of any panels or anything where like manga reference for like somebody doing like something similar to this, like putting their arm and kind of having like the hatching and everything. Cause I've been trying, you know. I've been trying, you know. Yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. Nah, I'm good off that. Of course they did.
Hope you guys are having a great week. Sorry for missing you yesterday. Had some personal stuff to take care of. But I returned today to some crazy news. We've got an update in the voice actor stuff over here on the subreddit for Honkai Star Rail, that being a Hoyoverse game for those that don't know. We've got the title, Kalis and Stell have been officially recasted as of version 3.3. Now, as you guys know, I do play Genshin, but I don't actually play Honkai, so I'd like to get some additional context here at gosugamers.net. We'll just spend like 30 seconds reading the key areas here at the top, where they say, Honkai Star Rail version 3.3, The Fall of Dawn's Rise, dropped on Wednesday, May 21st, with 2 new 5-star characters in Hyacine and Cypher, Hyacine, and Cypher, as well as tons of other additions. However, the update also featured a surprising change as the voice actors for the game's main character, the Trailblazer, have been replaced. In Honkai Star Rail, players embark on an interstellar journey as the male or female version of the Trailblazer, commonly known by their canon names Kalis and Stell. Since the game's launch in April 2023, the Trailblazer has been voiced by Caleb Yen, Kalis, and Rachel Chow, Stell. So this is basically like the Honkai version of the Traveler in Genshin. Let's take a look and see if the voice actors who got recast have issued any statement on this yet. Hopping over to Twitter first for Rachel Chow. We can see the bio does still say ENVA for Stell. And scrolling down, there is nothing as of May 5th. That's the latest post. But her pinned tweet does say, making the jump. Follow me on Blue Sky at the same handle. Chow for now. I'll keep Yield Twitter up so you can find me and to protect this glorious handle. Alright, hopping over to Blue Sky. We can see Rachel Chow is also here, but interestingly enough, on Blue Sky, her username is a little bit different.
Wait, I have a question.
She, they.
You know how in, you know how you buy your check mark on Twitter and stuff, right? And you know you can pay whatever your monthly or whatever it is for your verification. If 2 people have the same name on Twitter and both get verified, what happens then? Or can 2 people have the same name? Like maybe not the @ but the, I mean, I don't know. Like, do they check like the people who are buying the verifications? Excuse me. Like, do they check? Does it go in taper more? Yeah, I guess it tapers a little bit more. And then it comes down, and it goes, and it comes down, and it goes, and then boop, 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 boop. And then now, I mean, since he's turning, right here we can have like some subtle indicators, but Nothing too crazy. I think you can tell the difference. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, like, if somebody says, like, if somebody had the name Tsunade Zoldyck, right? Example. And then they get verified and they're like a big, you know, streamer or whatever, I don't know, and that's their name. And then somebody else gets Tsunade underscore Zoldyck, and they both end up buying a verified checkmark thing. Like, what now? Or is it like on a, like we don't let that happen, we can't let that slide? I don't really know.
In the username. Interesting, because on Twitter she put she they in the bio, but over here it's in the title. I don't know. Is that a Blue Sky thing or something? I have no idea. But the bio does still say ENVA of Stell and Honkai Star Rail. And similarly to Twitter on this part, no activity lately, and no statement issued about the recasting. As for Caleb Yen, he does also still say Trailblazer in his bio, but I don't believe he's on Blue Sky, so all we'll take a look at is this Twitter account. And there's even less activity here. Pin tweet from 2021, and the last post actually from back on December 5th, 2024. Let's actually return to the Blue Sky account for Rachel Chow, though. I found something that gives some more context. So 2 months ago, we got this Blue Sky post from Shar that says, to Rachel, "So glad you could find happiness and have a great day. I miss you a whole lot in Honkai Star Rail, and I send weekly feedback requesting them to sign the interim agreement for AI protections so you and the other wonderful actors can get back to voicing our
hold up. We gotta talk about this. There's this anime, right? Called Super Cube. Hold up, let me see if I can find the name of this anime. Super Cube, I think it's called. It's called. Hold up. Super Cube. I don't know if. Oh yeah, okay. The Super Cube. Yo, listen, okay. The anime came out, and I was like, okay, what is the show? You know, I heard people talking about it, right? And then I was like, you know what? You know, why don't I check it out? Bri. And then I saw it had a dub, right? And obviously I was drawn. I was like, you know what, let me just put it on in the background. Bri, when I tell you, one of the worst dubs I've heard in my life. And when I heard this, I was like, is this what people that hate dub think dub sounds like? Or people that won't even try it? Bri, I'm about to let you listen to this. When I tell you, Bri, this is the worst dub I've ever heard in my entire life. Ever. Okay? Ever. I'm about to play it, and you're just about to listen. Alright? I'm about to play it, and you're about to listen to it. And you're going to tell me. I mean, obviously you're going to see how garbage it is, but when I tell you this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. The worst dubbing. Alright, so watch. Listen to this. Just listen. I don't want to show anything, just in case. But just listen.
There's no time. Where is he?
Who? What's wrong?
He's gone.
What the heck was that? What the heck was that, bro? I'll keep going. Well, let's keep going. You probably thought, oh, it's just bad in the beginning, but it gets better. Okay, let me just skip to some random place.
And how about a movie?
Okay.
What's up with him?
mean, they're not talking here. I'm gonna skip this part where they're talking.
神瑶 Thank you. The rain stopped. Let's go home together.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna stop before I get copyrighted now. What the heck was I just listening to? That was the dub of the show. And I was like, I mean, obviously I haven't seen the show yet, and I don't know, because I heard people talk about, well, the animation and everything is cool, but the story's pretty boring, and that's practically like a lot of animes. So I still was like on the fence of watching. Like, I still am on the fence. I don't know if I'm gonna end up watching it, but just watching that, I was just like, oh my gosh, it almost took me out of it. I almost was done. Like, you know what? I'm not even gonna check this out. I'm not even gonna check it out. But we'll end up seeing. We'll end up seeing. I'm gonna worry about that. Oh shoot, yeah, I'm gonna worry about that later. I'm gonna worry about that thing later. What about this one? Yeah, I'm gonna worry about that later too. I don't gotta worry about that. Can't believe it. Can't believe it.
News. Now, hopefully, as you know, and something we've talked about extensively on this channel for a few months now, obviously the interim agreement is about a lot more than just ad protections. That's like the whole Trojan horse thing, the whole like manipulative part that a lot of people have been criticizing the VAs, SAG, the agreement for, to put it simply, of course. But I suppose I'll add on to this really quickly for anyone who may be out of the loop on this still. And essentially, one of the biggest issues is that the agreement and these VAs and SAG are trying to flip these games, Hoyoverse games and other games, to be union-only games, which would come with a lot of negative repercussions for VAs who are not a part of the union, such as forcing voice actors who don't want to join the union into joining the union and having to pay those members' dues, or risk being terminated from their positions, from their roles. Nevertheless, Rachel Chow responds and says, "Aw, thank you so much. That is really so kind and helpful of you. Hoping for good news soon, too." I guess that didn't age so well, did it? Here's something really funny. So back on the subreddit Honkai Star Rail and the post that we read earlier about this recasting news, you can see a top comment here says, "So it's like Kenichi and Genshin, only new lines for now. Older will be replaced in the future."
Yeah, this thing's
so
so
it'll be
bad
a
right
mix
now.
of
Okay.
both VAs for now. There is also lots of NPC VA changes, not even for EN, but looks like for JP also. The response saying, "We live in hope that this means we could still get a recast for Paimon. I will play the heck out of Genshin if they recast Paimon. Give her Freeren's English VA and I'm sold." So you can see that the people's dreams for a Paimon recast is still holding strong, still very much alive. Maybe more alive than ever now. An interesting point at the top about the Kenichi situation and these VAs getting replaced. I do wonder if when we see the announcement of who the new VAs are for the Trailblazers and Honkai, if we'll see, just like we saw happen to Jacob Takanashi, the new VA for Kenichi, that a certain clique of very toxic English voice actors and SAG-AFTRA bootlickers and their supporters will try and harass the new VAs too, just like they did to Jacob Takanashi. Of course, they all know very well how much backlash they got for that situation though, so perhaps this time they won't actually do it, even if they really want to. Maybe now they'll be scared of all the backlash that they will get from the communities and the internet at large. It's really crazy how big of bullies these people are. We literally saw some VAs on Blue Sky saying that people like Jacob Takanashi deserve to be harassed even more, and saying stuff like, "Oh, back in the good old days of unions, people used to get physically assaulted for being scabs," and trying to make it sound like, "Oh, Jacob Takanashi got off easy, and all the fans mad at us really shouldn't be mad at all." By the way, let me also clarify something. This comment we read a moment ago that I said is a top comment is in fact the top comment in the thread, both sorted by top and also sorted by best. Come on, Reddit, what are you doing? There we go. Okay. Speaking of people upset on Blue Sky about this news and getting mad at the fans of these games, there is some stuff we'll take a look at in a moment where, yeah, there's more people mad over on Blue Sky. But first, let's hop over to the Genshin Impact subreddit. We took a look at Honkai Star Rail. Now we'll read some over on our Genshin. This post reading, "The VAs for Honkai Star Rail main characters have been replaced," which we share the VA of Gaming with. So I guess he'll be replaced soon. Hey, quick side note about that. Do you guys remember when Gaming was released, and people in the community were making memes about like gaming, like wow, they really released a character in a game whose name is Gaming. And then you had a bunch of Twitter cops who are probably now in Blue Sky saying that it's very offensive to make fun of his name. Like, you guys shouldn't be doing that. it's like racist. It's a Chinese name.
Oh my god.
And it was like some of the most brain rot stuff ever. To take it even further back, it was like when people were mad about the John Lee memes. Oh, you can't call John Lee. That is so problematic, guys. Oh my gosh. Now, look, really quick, as much like fun as I'll make at Blue Sky, which is completely justified, by the way, completely justified. I will say, as mentioned, that I have seen some like actually like cool artists on Blue Sky. So I always feel bad for the people that are on Blue Sky that just went there to like share art and stuff and are like not weird. But my gosh, man, that whole website has some serious brain rot issues. It like
What is Blue Sky
like
anyway?
Twitter is still bad, but I'll say that it got a little bit better, maybe even more than a little bit better, because a lot of those sort of Twitter cop people did go over to Blue Sky. That's a fact. And so like while the levels have balanced out a bit more on Twitter, it's like Blue Sky is completely out of balance. There's just so much brain rot there. It's crazy. But going back to this Genshin post about the VAs recasting stuff, most of the responses at the top are responding to the question about like Gaming potentially getting replaced. But here's one that talks about VA stuff in general, saying, what are the odds for Zack and Sarah, Aether and Lumine's VAs, these being the travelers, the main characters in Genshin, to also be replaced? I would also understand if they do that, but not gonna lie, I like them so much. I'd be sad if / when that happens. Now, I don't know anything about Sarah, but I will say about Zack. I actually met him years ago, completely through chance at Anime Expo. Was walking around the exhibit hall, and he came up to me. We start talking. He mentions he's a voice actor for Genos on One Punch Man, because at the time, I think that was his only like notable role. This was way before Genshin. This was before Tanjiro and all that. And yeah, he seemed like a pretty cool, hardworking, chill dude. And I'm assuming all these years later, he still is. I haven't really kept up with him, but I can only say good things from my experience with him years ago, so I'm assuming, as mentioned, he's still like that. Point being, he seems like one of the good VAs out there.
We need a junior version of Twitter?
Taking a little more of a look through this thread before we move on to the Blue Sky anger. This next comment reading, I just hope they won't recast Zack. Him, Zhongli, and Ito VAs are the only ones I hope don't get recast. And then this one reading, apparently we have reached the found out portion of FAFO. It's sad too. I do enjoy the current swatch of ENVAs. I really do. But at this point, the game has been revealed. The jig is up. Everyone knows the truth about the strike and its real goal. And I'm frankly tired of having my game enjoyment held hostage by people who should have quite frankly known better. And another comment wanting Paimon to get recast, reading, I hope they can now also recast the white flying turd we have flying right next to us. That takes us over to this exchange back on Twitter, where a Genshin YouTuber said, I really wish there was a better outcome for the English VA situation. But as soon as Hoyo started replacing people, it was evident that they were fighting a losing battle. Response reading, what's crazy about it is that Genshin and other Hoyoverse games aren't even affected by the strike in the first place. The English VAs chose not to record because they wanted higher payments or something like that, with someone else saying it's much more complicated than that, and then a different user responding saying, no, it's not. SAG actors do what SAG does and strike because of AI, quote unquote, when in reality they want absolute control over MiHoYo projects. They hide behind a facade of AI protections. Hoyo already respects AI protections, and rally everyone, including non-union VAs. When their lies were uncovered, the higher-ups at SAG conveniently started enforcing their global Rule 1. Union actors cannot work on union projects. You mean on non-union projects, I think, but continuing. Holding the VAs that do want to go back to work hostage, it's not that complicated. The SAG VAs just tell you it's complicated to have you feel pity for SAG, when in fact, they are the problem. Another response to the initial tweet reading, who was fighting a losing battle? This is SAG's attempt to strong-arm a foreign company into complying with the scummiest contract I've ever seen. Hoyoverse has been incredibly patient with the strike. If anyone is fighting a losing battle, it's SAG. Hoyo isn't going to budge. That seemed to have upset someone else as they say, let's defend the billion-dollar company together, guys, let's go. To which that other user responds, saying if you actually read into it, in this situation, Hoyoverse is in the right. This is something that we've discussed a number of times in the past too, how SAG-AFTRA and a number of the union VAs have come off so unlikable that people are actually defending the corporation, in this example, something that is very rare, but that SAG-AFTRA and those VAs managed to accomplish through how unlikable they are. Congratulations. We'll take a look at a few more examples here. This one saying, it was revealed by Rio's VA that it was just the VA's own volition to strike, in hopes of getting Hoyo to sign that for better treatment. The better treatment being the agreement that's really, bad agreement for Hoyoverse and bad for non-union VAs. It was a group effort done by them, the union VAs, rather than being orchestrated by SAG-AFTRA, since Hoyo games weren't supposed to be involved. Joe Zija referring to this action as a collective work refusal. The current video game strike, the official one by SAG-AFTRA, is against a number of major Western gaming companies. According to my recollection, companies such as Electronic Arts, Warner Brothers, etc., etc. Now, it does seem like SAG-AFTRA is involved on some level, aside from just having their members involved, with the collective work refusal against Hoyoverse games, as we have seen them trying to act as a mediator, a middleman of sorts, with getting the work refusal demands sent over to Hoyoverse and asking Hoyoverse to sign said demands. Some people speculate that they have more involvement, some less, but factually, from what we have seen, they are at the very least trying to get this whole contract forwarded and signed by Hoyo. Ultimately, whatever the case may or may not be, it is still important to remember that SAG is a union built by its members. So by default, by talking about SAG-AFTRA, you are still also talking about its members. Some people try to draw a very clear distinction between the union and the VAs, but the union is made up of the VAs. Now, if we go into further detail, of course, there's a hierarchy, so to speak, with some members not having much involvement. Maybe they just vote here and there. Others are bringing in significant amount of money and get things like healthcare benefits, but around 85% of members, according to my recollection, don't qualify for the minimum income to get benefits. So there's varying degrees here, of course. And then there's people who are voted in to have these executive positions at the union and whatnot. Regardless, though, it is ultimately made up of the members, and some of those are actors, some voice actors. You get the point. What's interesting is when you see lots of people trying to put all the blame on SAG-AFTRA itself and act like the VAs are all innocent, when, as we just discussed, the union is built up of its members. And furthermore, as you can see here and elsewhere on the internet, such as Reddit, etc., etc., some people try and cite Erica, the VA for Venti, as proof that SAG is forcing VAs to do certain things and that they don't have free will of their own. For example, this comment that reads, VAs that are part of the union could get blacklisted by SAG-AFTRA if they continue to work. Venti's VA confirmed they are being sent threatening emails by the union. There's a lot more to it, but yeah, VAs are not the main people to blame.
Oh, it must be
well, in some cases they are. In some cases, VAs have outspokenly bootlicked for the union and harassed people like Jacob Takanashi. In such cases, absolutely the VAs are also to blame because
Jacob
they're
Takanashi.
enabling the predatory behavior going on at SAG-AFTRA and
the guy
harassing
from
people who would stand
that
up
one
to
situation.
SAG-AFTRA. And this is something that has also happened to Venti's VA. So I find it kind of messed up, actually, that this person is mentioning Erica here, the VA for Venti, but only mentioning the threatening letters part because it helps their argument, as they try to paint all the VAs out as innocent, when Venti's VA Erica actually got harassed by other VAs on Blue Sky when she began to expose SAG. And those VAs were even saying things like Erica deserves to get those letters, and they were trying to downplay them, being like, oh, the letters aren't threatening. This is just what happens. Erica deserves this. So give Erica the credit that she deserves for going up against the corrupt VAs and their corrupt union, and stop enabling the predatory behavior. Alright, now let's get some Blue Sky anger. We've got this post that says, I've been hearing murmurings that the English voices for Stell and Kalis in Honkai Star Rail have been recast. Regardless of whether that's true, I just need to reiterate my disappointment in the fandom response. That so many people are so ghoulish as to not care about the livelihoods of the VAs that literally give voice to the main characters of their favorite game, because how dare they have to play a game for a few months missing some voice acting? I mean, that's part of it, but you're also ignoring how people just didn't like being manipulated by VAs that were lying to them about their demands and what they were trying to do to Hoyo and non-uni VAs. It's funny how this is so often left out by people who are trying to always defend the strike and SAG. They are mindless, petulant black holes of content consumption, and I can't stay. It won't make a difference, but I won't be giving Hoyo any more of my time. It's time to drop Honkai Star Rail and all of MiHoYo's other games. You can see they open with their rage post here with a really
pause this, and then I'm gonna look up some Honkai. Wait, you guys weren't able to see this whole time? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Look at me. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I want to look up some Honkai Star Rail. That's what he said it's called. I want to look up some gameplay of this thing for real, because this thing must be one of the greatest things of all time. Honkai Star Rail gameplay. Listen. I don't know what Titan said, but as soon as I saw it said Titan and it said don't worry, I'm not gonna read the rest because I know it's gonna be some. Never mind. All right, so let's see what the gameplay looked like. Is it worth it?
In this Honkai Star Rail gameplay overview video, I'm going to run you through everything you need to know in terms of the types of characters you'll gain, how combat and weapon upgrades work, what the warp system is, and how different the multiplayer mode is this time around. Honkai Star Rail is developed by HoYoverse, the same creators of the popular free-to-play action RPG Genshin Impact. If you're interested in knowing what Star Rail is all about and how it compares to Genshin Impact, then this video is for you.
I just want to see some gameplay.
Before I get into the video, however, a big shout out to HoYoverse for sponsoring this video. If you guys are planning on checking out the game, it's free to play. You can use our link below to help. It's the elemental abilities and buffs that players can cast. But just like in Genshin Impact, you'll be roaming the world with a single active character that could then be swapped at any given time. Fights are also initiated by literally striking an enemy on the overworld map, damaging a random target even before the fight begins.
Oh, this is turn-based?
Once combat starts, you'll be able to make use of your entire...
Man! Oh, right. It's turn-based game. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Wow. Man. Alright, I guess. You see the whip? Yeah, I did see it. The one when she's sitting down. That's the only one I saw. Let me see if he said something else. Turn-based is fine. Nah, I ain't gonna give you that one.
Analogy, and then go on to say, quote, the voice actor union is actually bad on, quote, if you don't get bent. So are they just defending SAG there? Is that what they're trying to like get at, I guess? Quote, they aren't grateful, unquote. Dude, it's a job, you know, the thing neither of us have. And then they get really mad at this post in particular. Looks like it's from Reddit, where this person says, Hoyo has shown more patience than nearly other companies who would fire anyone not working, especially when there is no official union strike against any Hoyo games. It's unfortunate that it's come to this, but I'm not surprised by the decision after all being unvoiced for so long. Response reading, especially since Honkai Star Rail is a game with 8 hours story patch every patch. It genuinely hurts their whole game because it ruins some people's immersion on the story. They simply can't wait any longer since we're closing on the ending of the first half of Amorphous. Actually that's Amphorious, I think, my bad. They closed their rant by saying, I don't write about games much anymore except for my own blogs. Yeah, so I feel okay making fun of these people. Well, I mean, all we really got out of this is that you're defending a corrupt union, so congratulations, I guess. But look at this. Elsewhere on Blue Sky, there were some people actually defending Hoyoverse. For example, this person says, at this point, voice actors getting recast like that in Hoyo games don't feel so surprising. It just feels so hurtful that they can just throw people away like that. All they want is protection. Is it that hard? Sigh. Well, once again, we know they want a lot more than that. But this response says, what could have happened when you refused to work for no valid and official reason? In this exchange, we can see someone says, as much as I didn't want it to happen, they withheld work. It was bound to happen. It's been ridiculous to not have the main character voiced since 2.6, 4 patches. I'm not celebrating them losing the roles, but I am happy to finally have the character voiced again. No hate their way or the Nouviers. Ignoring the fact that most video games went on voice/minimal VAing back in the day just so you can rip on people's livelihoods is real rich. Bro, this person was so respectful about it, and this guy is still getting like enraged, like seething over it. Oh my gosh, it gets worse. Look at this. I hope you lose your job to AI one day, and I hope AI prevents you from finding another one. Holy smokes, dude. The SAG after bootlickers are crazy. They're always so like mad and weird sounding, man. What are you on about? I know you aren't talking about that strike against MiHoYo, and back in the day, my guy, the strike hasn't even passed a year. I know critical thinking is hard for kids these days, but we can't hold your hand through it anymore. Not that I expect much from a selfish redacted. Bro, are you stupid? You didn't even make a point to begin with. Go ahead and reread what I wrote and come up with something that actually is relevant to what I said instead of digging up insults, you dunce. One last thing we'll take a look at here. Do you remember months back near the beginning of this whole situation when a number of VAs went to Reddit to try and defend SAG-AFTRA and the strike by continuing to spread a false narrative, to which people on Reddit called them out, some simply asking questions, and these VAs responded by either dodging and not answering and or blocking people or giving like manipulative lies as a response, to which they got mass downvoted? Well, we'll take a look at this comment from 2 months ago really quick and you'll see why in a second. It reads, "They can't see it on Blue Sky. I asked a few of them to clarify and they called me names. Said I was anti-worker and pro-billion-dollar company and blocked me. Kit Harrison, Cher Kirby both did, since I was replying to a thread where they were both in. Blue Sky is great as a safe space for the vileness of Twitter, but I think a lot of people treat it more like a blog than social media.
Would say
the reason we're
donut,
taking a look at this again
donkey.
is because I was thinking of a number of the VAs who were on Reddit trying to defend the strike and all that stuff, and I did recall Kit Harrison. So I went over to Blue Sky to Kit Harrison's account to see if he had anything to say about the recent recasts. And there actually wasn't anything that I saw. Doesn't seem like he's talking about it. But there is one thing that I thought was rather interesting and give some insight on
I want to add like some energy, you know what I mean? Because his ability is Ash,
money,
right?
The context.
So I'm thinking, should I have like it raining, like his hands just turning into ash, or should I have like a flame, like a black flame, right? Because I'm thinking like this one will be colored, but this one could be like a black and white, just, you know. I don't know, man. Why do I do this to myself? Give me a second. Let me actually go on Instagram real fast because I would like to see something. Let's see, Instagram. Persona 5 was really good, but Persona 5 wasn't a turn-based, right? You see what I mean, though, bro? It's like, never mind. I don't want to mention it because I understand. What's his power? Well, his power is like, he has like this. You remember you know how Shazu has like the acid snake thing? He has an ash dragon type thing, right? And yeah, it was combat wise. Yeah, so I thought. See, people typically just like, especially my followers. You guys mainly like my female characters or my female drawings. Yo, I forgot to do it on this one, but it's fine. I gave him the black lashes on accident. The game is a card turn-based game? Wow.
That's the Sunny. Look how tiny it is. So when you put it like this, when Luffy's fist is damn near the same size as the island, it's crazy. Bro, this is how big Luffy's fist was against Kaido. Keep in mind, that's a colossal titan. I'll put it like this.
Dang. I mean, obviously we know this, but we ain't gonna say nothing. No, Titan's gonna be like, I don't even want to bring it up. I'm not even gonna bring it up because we all know. We all already know. The true people know already. Exactly. Did we? No, we didn't. Of course, y'all didn't, because y'all garbage. Okay. Dang. Oh, that's tripping. They tripping on that. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. Honestly, though, Krillin will tear himself up. Well, the dragon. I mean, cause listen, Titan. Brian. That's actually a good idea. You know what I was thinking though? Like when you said that, what if I did like a? Let me think. Oh, like you mean like a tattoo? Like it appeared, like a. Ooh, okay. All right, Brian actually saying some stuff. But I'm trying to look for a reference for like how the arm should be, like, cause I'm thinking about like the arm being straight, like hatching. Cause I've seen somebody do it, but I just don't remember.
Next is, he says 2 days ago, was driving home yesterday and a pheasant flew headlong into my wing mirror from the side. Heck of a shock. You shouldn't dwell on these things, but if I was driving at any different speed, it would have been way, way worse. Watch out for low-flying birds, kids. First of all, bro, sucks what happened to your car, but that takes us to the quote that he made of that post where he adds on to it saying, "Arg, 75 euros for a new wing mirror and 450 euros for a new door window? Anyone needs circa 1 hour of high quality voice acting?" So you're telling me these guys actually get paid? Like this guy is trying to get paid what is like close to $600 USD for an hour of voice acting? And no offense to this guy, but it's not exactly a household name. Doesn't exactly have like a big credit list here, and still wants like 600 USD around an hour of VA work. Is that really what these people are trying to charge? That's just crazy in my opinion. So yeah, please let me know what you guys think about that. Am I reading that wrong, or is he really trying to charge like 600, just about 600 USD for an hour of VA work? And it takes me back too really quick to something I covered months ago, where there was the what was that creepypasta thing? Ben Drowned, I think. Yeah, the creator Ben Drowned put out a like ad for like needing some background voices, and a bunch of people on Twitter were mad with what he was trying to pay, asking for like hundreds of dollars just to say a few lines. And that sounds so crazy.
I never played the game, so that's what I'm just wondering.
But apparently, yeah, these people really do think they should get like paid hundreds for a few lines, or like 600 for an hour.
How's it going, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it's a great look, but maybe I'm reading it wrong. I don't think I am, but if I am, let me know in the comments, and let me know what you think about all this stuff, including a little bonus at the end. Little insight into the VA stuff here. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. If you did, please consider liking and or subscribing to the channel. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you in the comments.
You too, man. Have a good one. Insane. Wait, oh, we saw this one. Okay, yeah, this is the stream. Cause I was wondering, I was like, wait a second, again? I'm fine. That's cool.
People's heartstrings. She claimed to be a mute and disabled girl, the victim of a trap. Back in 2020, when VTubing was still in its infancy and hadn't yet exploded into the massive industry we know today, a new star was rising in the Spanish-speaking VTuber scene, Astria. She wasn't just any VTuber, she had a story that pulled at people's heartstrings. She claimed to be a mute and disabled girl, the victim of a tragic car accident that took away her ability to speak. But despite her struggles, she was full of energy, passionate about streaming, and dedicated to giving back. Fans saw her as an inspiration, someone who refused.
Wait, so she did VTubing and didn't speak at all? How the heck she do that?
refused to let her disability hold her back. Her community rallied behind her, donating money to help her afford life-changing medical treatments, and in return, she pledged to pay it forward, donating her extra earnings to charity to help others like her. To many, she was the proof that VTubing could be a place where anyone, no matter their struggles, could thrive. Except, none of it was real. Behind the scenes, Astria was not who she claimed to be. Her disability? Fake. Her charity donations? A lie. Even her gender was fabricated. What started as an inspiring success story quickly unraveled into one of the biggest...
Oh man, yeah, so text to speech probably? I mean, I guess. But he's like, oh, y'all got me. Imagine. Oh my gosh, yeah, y'all got me.
Scams the VTuber world has ever seen. A deception so deep, so calculated, that when the truth finally came out, it shattered the trust of an entire community and has had lasting impacts on the VTubing industry and how outsiders view us to this day. And the worst part, she didn't just fool her fans, she betrayed her friends, catfished a lover, and manipulated other VTubers, as well as tried to destroy people's career just to stay on top. This is the insane story of Astria, the mute VTuber who scammed her way to fame, only to lose everything. Buckle up because this rabbit hole goes way deeper than you think. At first, nothing about Astria's rise seemed out of the ordinary. She started streaming in early 2020 and gradually built a following. Her numbers were modest but steady, sitting around 15,000 followers with an increase of about 50 subscribers per day on her YouTube channel. She marketed herself as a mute VTuber who had lost her voice in a tragic car accident during childhood. And using expressive body movement, sign language, and text-to-speech software, she engaged with her audience in an interactive manner. This helped her stand out among other VTubers in the Spanish-speaking community. But what truly launched her career wasn't just her content, it was the sympathy and admiration she gained from her...
Because you know American Sign Language, ASL, right? So, American Sign Language, ASL, and she said Spanish community. Naya, how's it going? So, was she speaking sign language in Spanish? This is last. You see what I mean, Naya? And this is why my girl ain't gonna be no VTuber. Bro was like, she can't do nothing. I was like, definitely not VTubing.
Her tragic backstory. She would often say things like, I started streaming last year. I've been using my account for 11 months, although I did take 2 months of hiatus, so it's closer to 9 months really. I tried to stream every day without fail, unless I don't...
Think about it. Like sign language, like if you do sign language, right, and you're an American sign language person, and then you go to like Brazil, right, and they be speaking on Portuguese over there, right, and they hit you with the Portuguese sign language, you gonna be like, hold up, chill out, I don't understand. What? That's crazy.
Don't feel up to it mentally. And according to her, streaming was more than just a hobby. It was a mission. She wanted to make a difference, not just in her own life, but for others. I've learned that to grow on Twitch, it's not only about streaming, it's about putting in the effort to expand your influence, take opportunities, make friends, and start projects, and make a difference. Her words painted a picture of a hardworking and passionate creator, but the reality behind the screen was far more complicated. But everything changed in September 2020 when Drakeout, a well-known VTuber in the ESP community and briefly the manager of a popular VTuber agency named Owuzu, who's had his own set of controversy, made a video promoting Astria's channel. In this video, Drakeout shared Astria's story, presenting her as an inspirational mute VTuber who had overcome challenges to become one of the biggest names in the scene. The video gained traction, drawing massive attention to Astria's channel. Almost overnight, her growth exploded. What started as a small but steady audience quickly turned into one of the fastest growing VTuber careers in the Spanish-speaking community. With her rising popularity, Astria was hailed as a pioneer in both the VTubing space and the Spanish-speaking community. She credited her success to hard work, dedication, and engagement with her community. She said, "If my community grows, I'll grow too, and if I grow, I can help the community back. I don't really care about the money, since those things always come to you if you put in the effort. You don't have to demand it." On the surface, her story was inspiring. She presented herself as a selfless creator, someone who worked tirelessly to provide engaging content, despite her supposed disability. During my stream, she said, I stand and move around for 3 to 4 hours. I try to make my streams as engaging as possible, letting chat control the experience instead of just watching me. A big part of Astria's appeal was the emotional connection she created with her audience. She didn't just claim to be a mute VTuber, she also told her fans that her life had been filled with suffering and hardships. She told her community that she lost her ability to speak in a childhood car accident, her mother had sexually assaulted her when she was younger, and that she had severe medical issues that required expensive throat surgeries. So with this tragic backstory, she really stood out and managed to gain the sympathy of thousands of fans who deeply connected with her struggles and who wanted to support her because of it. With her newfound success, Astria decided to create a VTuber group called Humans, which stood for holographic units made for an amusement of the nation's satisfaction. She described it as a collaborative effort where VTubers could support one another, helping the Spanish VTuber scene grow as a whole. Thanks to her influence, Humans quickly gained traction and its members saw their own viewership numbers rise. She made it sound like a noble effort, one that would benefit everyone involved. I'm more motivated than ever to give it my all. I'm getting to know wonderful people and wonderful viewers that accept me for who I am. Her charisma and unique way of interacting with viewers made her seem like one of the most promising new faces of the LATAM VTuber community. Her future seemed brighter than anyone else's at the time, but little did she know her success would last less than a month. Indeed, despite her selfless image, cracks were already beginning to show behind the scenes. Astria was not the kind-hearted VTuber she claimed to be, as it turned out. Astria wasn't looking to uplift others, she was looking to eliminate competition. The first major sign that something was off came during a controversy involving another VTuber called NemuVT. NemuVT was one of the biggest Spanish-speaking VTubers at the time and got into drama when she accused a smaller VTuber, Suki, of stealing her model. While I won't get into all the details, this turned into a big controversy and Nemu received backlash from the community. But Astria saw this as an opportunity. Instead of defending her friend, she took this chance to ruin Nemu's VT's career. She sent detailed scripts to YouTubers encouraging them to attack Nemu and, quote, break her empire so other VTubers could rise. Basically, Astria was actively trying to take down one of the biggest names in the scene to benefit herself. Behind the scenes, she started making snarky comments about Nemu and even leaked private documents to multiple YouTubers. This was the first time people saw Astria's true nature. But things were about to get even worse. The backstabbing move shocked many in the community as Nemu was not only her friend but also someone who supported Astria financially. NemuVT had even previously donated $170 to Astria but later claimed it was actually $250. And this was supposed to help Astria afford treatments for her throat condition. What Nemu didn't know at the time was that Astria wasn't even sick. But backstabbing a friend and donor wasn't enough for Astria. She continued to actively badmouth Nemu behind the scenes. But this was only the beginning of Astria's downfall. The biggest revelation was yet to come. As tensions escalated between the two VTubers, Nemu found herself reflecting on how she and Astria had first met. Something about it just didn't sit right. She started piecing things together and revisiting their earliest interactions, searching for an answer. And then, suddenly, it clicked. At the time before her and Astria had started collabing with each other, Nemu had received an email from what seemed to be a legitimate music label. The sender introduced himself as a producer, someone with industry connections who had taken a keen interest in the VTuber community. His message was simple, yet heartfelt. He had a close friend who was a mute VTuber, and someone he deeply admired and wanted to see succeed. That VTuber was named Astria. The so-called producer spoke passionately about Astria, describing her as a talented but overlooked creator who just needed a little push. He pleaded with Nemu to help promote Astria's channel, insisting that it would make her incredibly happy. But then, the message took an unexpected turn. The sender claimed to have a crush on Astria. He wasn't just a supporter, he was also emotionally invested in her success. His admiration for her wasn't just professional, it was also personal. And if Nemu helped Astria grow, she wouldn't just be doing a favor for a fellow VTuber, she would be making someone's dream come true. At the time, Nemu had no reason to doubt the legitimacy of the email. It was strange, sure, but she brushed it off as just another devoted fan trying to help someone they cared about. But now, looking back, something clicked. As she started connecting the dots, Nemu realized the horrifying truth. The email had been fake. There was no music producer and there was no admirer. It was Astria herself. She had fabricated the entire persona just to manipulate Nemu into a collaboration.
This is the second time, bro, that people are creating people, imaginary people. I don't know about this.
From the very start, it had all been a setup, an elaborate scheme designed to guilt-trip Nemu into helping boost Astria's career. The revelation was shocking, but it also exposed something even more disturbing. Astria was willing to go to extreme lengths, even creating fake identities to get what she wanted. Shortly after this controversy, YouTuber Terry released an expose which would ultimately bring all of Astria's lies crashing down. Terry's investigation started when he discovered a suspicious payment. While going through transaction records, he found that the email used for Astria's business payment was linked to another account called Shiro EDM. So Shiro EDM was a YouTube music channel with over 300,000 subscribers, supposedly run by a man from Mexico. Needless to say, the connection between the two accounts raised serious questions. When Terry dug deeper, he found something even more suspicious. The merch store linked to the Shiro EDM channel sold products featuring Astria's VTuber model called RoboNeko. So this begged the question, why was Astria's model being sold through an account she had never publicly mentioned? But it got worse. In an old interview, Astria had claimed to be a manager for a discography and frequently used electronic music similar to the tracks uploaded on Shiro EDM. So there was a few recurring elements here. At this point, the evidence was undeniable, and Astria was connected to Shiro EDM, and the person behind both accounts wasn't a mute girl, but indeed a man. But the investigation didn't stop there. Terry found an official Facebook page for Shiro EDM, which claimed to be based in Tijuana, Mexico, the same country Astria was from. Even stranger, after a fan meetup, people created fan art of Shiro EDM's owner, and in every single drawing, the person depicted was a short-haired man. Then there was Astria's inconsistency about her backstory. She had told her fans that her car accident happened when she was 6 years old. This was something she repeated often and even had it in her Twitch bio. But later, she changed the story, sometimes saying it happened when she was 10, 11, or even 12. In this tweet, for example, she claimed it was 12 years ago, and the constant contradiction made it fairly obvious that she had made the entire story up. As the pressure mounted, Astria made one last-ditch effort to salvage her reputation. She decided to prove her identity by doing a face reveal on stream. The idea was simple. If people saw her on camera, they'd believe she was telling the truth. When the face reveal finally happened, audiences were momentarily convinced. After all, the girl featured on stream was cute, and she was even wearing an Oculus headset, which is something Astria had used in her streams. Her fans breathed a sigh of relief. But it also meant that the YouTuber who had done an expose on Astria, Terry, started getting a lot of heat due to his video and ended up privating his video on Astria. But then, in a monumental plot twist, audiences found out that instead of actually showing herself on camera, Astria had actually gotten the help of one of her friends to pretend to be her. And how was this discovered? Well, Astria hadn't properly briefed her friend about what was truly going on. Probably because if she knew, she wouldn't have accepted to go live for her in the first place. So after learning about all of Astria's accusations and fraud, this same friend allegedly ended up spilling everything to Serpias, who was asked.
Bro, listen. Sadly, I mean, it's still, happening, but it's just because, life and time and everything has been an issue, right? But I don't want to give it time because, like I said, it's just so much going on. Like, the goal is so I can have all the time in the world to do this, but short-haired men. What the heck is up with you, Zara? But it's just time, bruh. Honestly, it's just time, man. But as soon as I know, bruh, you're gonna know. All right. That's all I can say. And I know bruh wants to see this scene in action. I know. I understand. Wait, why is curving on this one? So I guess I'll curve in here also.
Astria's longtime online boyfriend, who went public with all of this information. And that's when another layers of lies unraveled. Serpias had been romantically involved with Astria for over a year, believing he was in a relationship with a mute disabled woman from Japan who had suffered immense trauma. To make the relationship seem real, Astria had sent him intimate photos, which she claimed were of herself, but when everything fell apart, it was revealed that all of those images were actually brought from Fiverr. Serpias even tried to reverse search the images on Google, but nothing came up. They weren't linked to any public profiles, which only made them seem more authentic. And that was intentional. Astria specifically chose those images that couldn't be traced back because they weren't hers to begin with. Serpias had never actually seen Astria, as they were online dating, and he had been in a relationship with a completely fake persona from the start. So for over a year, Serpias had unknowingly been in a relationship with a man. And when Serpias finally learned the truth, he was devastated. He had spent months emotionally invested in a person who didn't even exist. What's sad is that the internet being the internet had a lot of people made fun of Serpias once the truth got revealed. It's also been said that Serpias made a response video, but most of the footage of his reaction has been lost or deleted. To this day, there's no confirmed archive of what he said. However, he does end up commenting on the situation via tweets later on. But what we do know is that he was one of Astria's biggest victims. And unbelievably, Astria still wasn't done. When Astria finally confessed, it wasn't just an admission of guilt, it was the confirmation that every rumor, every accusation, and every suspicion about her was true. She had fabricated everything, including being a disabled mute woman, she could speak the entire time, needing money for expensive throat surgeries, there were actually no medical bills, being a victim of sexual assault, a fabricated trauma for sympathy, losing her mother to unknown circumstances, her mother was never dead, and hosting charity streams for hospitals and disabled individuals where all the donations went straight into her pocket. In her statement, she said, "Good morning, everyone. The truth is, I want to say sorry to the community, the viewers, and VTuber followers in general for this polemic that I incited with some of my actions. I know my actions were not the best ones, and at the end, everyone commits error, and I know this is not an excuse worth solving everything I did. I appealed to desperation, and I really want to promise that I'll change what I say, and the things I'll do from and then, because..."
Before we continue, I can smell it. He gonna say something about mental health. I'm saying this now. I can just smell it in the air. He gonna bring it up somewhere.
I'd like that this community grows in a healthy way and without toxicity, improving communication and all those little things in order to evade more problems in the future that might hurt the community. If I'm honest with you, I feel like this is an escalating too much even when we have more important things to take care of. That's why I want to apologize, because due to this polemic, Ayako Mizuki, a VTuber that got hacked and her channel got taken down, nobody cares about it until it was too late, and I feel responsible about it. I'll never stop supporting the community, and I don't think I'll ever do. I'll take actions out of these topics because I want to improve everything for everybody's sake and supporting this cute community. Thanks everyone for your support. Well, Astria
didn't mention nothing about okay, Somebody's gonna in a weird way.
It's in their statement that they want to change their behavior moving forward. They also seem to believe that the discussion surrounding them has been blown out of proportion, as if their actions weren't a serious issue. Additionally, they attempt to divert attention by pointing out that another VTuber's channel was hacked, a situation they claim has gone unnoticed due to the controversy around them. This comes across as an attempt to shift blame into the audience for focusing on their deception. Meanwhile, for over a year, her fans, friends, and even her own boyfriend has been living inside her lies, or should I say, his lies. But let's be real, if you didn't want people talking about your lies and catfishing, maybe you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And so, within a single day, Astria's entire act had collapsed. She had confessed everything in a Twitter post and later deleted all of her social media accounts. So now it was official. Astria was a fraud. But wait, there's more. After everything fell apart, Astria attempted one final act of damage control. He came back and posted a video apology, though most footage of it has now been lost or deleted, and this greatly upset many of his former victims who took to Twitter to voice their frustration in the matter, seeing the person who hurt them attempt to come back once more. The boyfriend he catfished, Serpies in particular, tweeted a slew of comments. I have a lot of anxiety. I have to talk about this, but I don't want to. But if I don't, people won't stop bothering me. I feel too uncomfortable with everything. I'm not looking for any of this. I'm a positive person, but this is too much for me. I can't even sleep alone. I can't even read his name. For a week now, I've been anxious because...
First of all, why? Like, listen. If you meet somebody online and you're dating them, you should not be officially dating this person until you guys do FaceTime or Skype or whatever together. Can we agree on that? Like, you are not officially dating somebody who you met online until you guys have Skype together. I don't understand how people keep getting bamboozled like this. Like, you really thought, like, honestly, like, for real? And he said, well, he sent me pictures, and who cares about the pictures? The pictures could be anybody. And he probably was like, can you send me a picture of you with a fork with today's newspaper? Like, man, it's crazy. It's truly crazy. I don't understand. I don't understand why people do that.
As a person who returned has made my life miserable for many months, but this has been unbearable for days now. It's either do this or leave forever. I can't find any other way to free myself. I tell you from the heart, I don't want any gossip. This life is shit. I come to the internet to have a good time, not for these kinds of things. I've been thinking about how to free myself, but I think the best way is to write this from the heart and be honest. Yes, I know I'm always an ironic and sarcastic person, but this is serious and I might get haters, or I don't know, they'll laugh at me and how I feel, but please, I'm asking all of you, have I ever done anything bad to you? I always try to be the best to everyone. Once I write this, I'll be going on vacation for a couple of weeks.
Oh!
Although I'll delete this.
Wait, this is the guy? I knew it. I thought this was the boyfriend of, like, the one who ended up got bamboozled by him. But this is him. I told you that mental health was going to come up. Oh, my goodness.
It hurts me to put it there, and I'm sorry for venting publicly, but if I don't tell everyone, this won't stop. People will keep bothering me, and I know that many of you will be able to understand and empathize with me. The damage you have done to this community is immense, and yet you come back because it's—
Wait,
quote,
never mind.
"It's
I'm tripping
mine."
again. Okay, let's reverse it. I'm tripping. So this is that guy who got bamboozled. Okay, good.
Happiness, end
I mean,
quote.
not
So
good,
the
but
rest of
yeah.
us have to eat your garbage? You're just selfish. Does someone with depression behave like this? Does someone with depression come to their problems where they hate them? You're a selfish person. I feel bad that you cry and lie to us all by making up serious things like depression. Someone with depression doesn't go back to a place where everyone hates them. You yourself
I mean,
know
people
that
do
you have
that.
an ego big enough to
Who
feel
say they have
proud of
depression.
everything you've done. You yourself said in the video that I'm the one who knows you best, and it's completely true. That is why you can't fool me. You yourself said that you're an expert in manipulating the masses. It is not possible that 2 months ago you laughed at me publicly in that interview because you knew that you were going to. Your channel where you showed your face, which according to what I was told failed, and now you're back to the same shit, seeking pity all because you want attention. I would be ashamed if my fame was built on the basis of making me pass myself off as a disabled girl or a handicapped girl. The best thing is that you feel proud. That's why you showed your face, so that they can see you, that they can see the genius. It was thanks to your friend that all of this stopped, because you were going to start a business with her, which you proposed to her. You proposed to deceive your followers by pretending to be disabled. You apologized to those who were convenient for you because you didn't apologize to me. You tell me that I took life with humor and that it is not to traumatize me. Everyone know how in love I was with a little Japanese girl, mute, whose life had given many obstacles and who overcame them.
How could
I have
you
never
been
been
in love with her? Listen. I know you can't talk. She can't talk. But go on FaceTime. It isn't real. Until then. It isn't. Like, what is the reason why you can't go on FaceTime or Skype or whatever? Or Omegle. I don't know if you can specifically go to a specific person on Omegle, but I'm pretty sure you might be able to.
In love with a psycho scammer, so please stop with the memes about that person towards me. Since he appeared again, they have affected me a lot. I have no motivation to enter Twitch because he is there. I don't even know why they haven't shut down his account. Clearly, this is what you were looking for, to go back up in numbers. You only care about that. You don't care about the method or being hated. You only care about you, and you. I hope people open their eyes and see what you are. If you can say that your mother is dead, or that you were raped,
That's
or
crazy.
that you were sold, your
say something
body
like
for
that.
money and 1,000 other things, then you can fake cry and make 1,000 trash things up for 100 viewers. You have no morals, no empathy. You're a sad and empty person. Even if you have 1 million people following you, you will always be remembered as the man who liked to pretend to be a handicapped girl. Please, it affects me a lot. It's not because of morbid curiosity. It's not because of hate. It's so that this harassment towards me stop. Respect me and don't mention it. Don't even pay attention to it. Just let it go by. And I repeat, I want the best for everyone. I try to be a good person. Thank you and sorry. And Nemo, especially angry, responded to Serpia's tweet as well, saying, "It's disgusting. He really did too much harm to everyone and they forgave him as if it were nothing. It's unbelievable." I saw the comments on his YouTube channel and his apologies, and people supported him fully. And that guy ruined me in a lot of the controversy, and because of him, they still don't get over it. I also managed to find some tweets where the hate is clearly starting to get to Astria. There he says, "I just want to live. I haven't done anything to deserve this. If only you would listen to me. I just want the best for everybody. I just want my dad to be proud of me. I just want to be an inspiration. I just didn't want to give up." But unfortunately, people didn't buy into his pity tweets, and he still continued to receive an immense amount of backlash. So instead of disappearing, he tried to make another comeback, and this would be the start of multiple revenge attempts. This time, he dropped the act completely. He no longer pretended to be a girl or mute. At the same time, he claimed he refunded all the money he had scammed. According to Astria, he had paid back Nemo VT, who was refunded $250, and a mute fan who had donated to him, believing he was also mute. But this also wasn't true. The mute fan, in fact, never got their money back. In this screenshot, Drakeout is acting as a middleman between the mute girl and Astria, and it confirms
do
that Astra did not refund her, and the mute fan has stopped streaming because of it. Astra also noted that they became better and they encouraged the mute girl to start streaming again. And while Nemo VT did get refunded, Astra messed up so badly that he sent the money to the wrong email address. To make matters worse, he publicly posted the email he sent it to, thinking it was Nemo's personal email. Rather than proving his innocence or re-establishing some good faith between him and the community, this only made him look worse. Astra then tried to move on from the backlash by rebranding once again. They privated their Twitter account a second time and victimized themselves in a post to their followers. One of the things I've learned on Twitch is that people fall for the sensationalism of YouTube very easily. Please don't do this. Don't force people to do what I do. I'll stop doing live streams for a while. Thanks. This time he had changed his name to Alexandrite and began streaming with his real face. But without the fake tragic backstory, people weren't so interested. He managed to do a few facecam streams, but his numbers were nowhere near what they used to be. And eventually, he faded away once again. But this still wasn't the end. Even after multiple failed comebacks, Astria refused to give up on VTubing. Unable to escape his bad reputation in the Spanish-speaking VTuber community, he attempted to reinvent himself, this time for an English-speaking audience. Under the username of Alex or Kyle, he abandoned his previous identity and even had some attempts to facecam without his VTuber model, but it didn't really work. Eventually, he joined the uu.tv VTuber agency under the name of KoroYN, where he attempted to stay away from the drama as much as he could. Ironically enough, Koro would often comment on drama and even would advise others with bad reputation to keep on going, claiming people forget about drama within a week or two. Here he responds to another VTuber stating, "Believe when I say that people will probably forget that kind of drama within 1 or 2 weeks. Keep focusing on what you love and keep believing whatever your goals are. We often stop doing what we love for worrying about things that most likely won't happen." uu.tv itself was a controversial agency, though most of the drama surrounding it wasn't directly related to him. As KoroYN, Astra returned to silent VTubing, making very similar content to what he had done as Astria. This time, it was unclear whether he still pretended to be mute. Some claims he was at least honest about being a man, but there isn't enough archived material to fully confirm this. For a while, it looked like the rebrand might actually work, and KoroYN found some success on Twitch, though he never reached the level of fame he had as Astria. But his past wasn't forgotten. The YouTuber, Terry, who had previously exposed him, made a second video about KoroYN, revealing his past to the new audience he had built. With the truth out in the open, KoroYN was forced to address it once more. He posted a video confession explaining his past actions to his new community. It's unclear how his audience reacted, since most of the channel's archives have been wiped and the new archives have comments turned off, but not long after, uu.tv collapsed due to unrelated controversies, and Astria, now KoroYN, was left adrift once again. He continued streaming for a while, but without the support of an agency and with his past constantly following him, his numbers never took off. Eventually, he faded into obscurity once again. So around that time, Astra made one last attempt to profit off his VTuber career. He sold his original Roboneko model and his account, as I gather from the screenshot, to an account of a Spanish VTuber named GU Flowers, who was fully aware of the controversy behind it. GU defended the purchase, claiming that having a model with a background is going to help me and boost my career. But shockers, this plan didn't really work out. GU never gained any major success and eventually quit both YouTube and streaming. And with that, the internet thought Astra's legacy was officially over, or so they thought. Eventually, Astra returned to his original IP after his long hiatus on that account, and many failed rebranding attempts. He issued one last apology, but it was the same one he had already posted on Twitter, which people were quick to notice that it was just a copy-paste of it. He read it on stream in an attempt to move past the situation, but by that point, nobody believed him anymore. But rather than showing genuine remorse, Astra later mocked the entire situation and tried to make a joke out of it. In a video from one of his comeback attempts, he laughed at his critics and made fun of the backlash, acting as if the controversy didn't really matter. This attitude only cemented his reputation as a scammer who never truly took responsibility for his actions. Indeed, Astria was always open about being from Mexico, but painted a tragic story of having a rough life as a disabled person. He frequently asked for donations from both his community and personal friends, claiming he needed money for medical expenses that didn't actually exist. In reality, this was a new behavior for him. Astria once admitted that before becoming a VTuber, he would frequently pretend to be a girl online to get free things, more specifically through this game he played called Terra. He admitted all of this in an interview with a content creator named Kaguya, and the exchange goes as this. Kaguya, the interviewer, asked, well, the main questions are, what besides the inspiration led you to do all of this VTubing? What led you to make the character with a disability? How did you end up with the disability? Was it intentional to be like this all of your life, or was it going to come out at a certain point? Astria/Kyle responds, this goes back a long way. I swear this goes back a long way. Kaguya, how long ago? Astria/Kyle, since 2013 because I played a game called Terra. Kaguya responds, Terra Online, okay. Astria/Kyle's responds, yes, Terra, and at that time I said to myself, wouldn't it be funny to play as a female character and pretend to be a woman? And when I did it, dude, I did it just like that. But before I knew it, I already had a bunch of friends and I was so stupid. I told some of them that I was a dude, and the closest one I told them that I was a dude, but others still had their doubts. And so I continued like that for a bunch of years, and now in 2019, when I started my channel. Kaguya responds, yes, like in the month of July, no? Astria/Kyle responds, yes, that's when I said it. That's when it became easy for me to continue with the lie.
That's what I was thinking at first, but like,
you need to talk there,
he could have simply, you know what he should have did? You know what he should have did if he was smart? And listen, this is a guy who scanned people, okay? So I'm not over here trying to, you know he could have did it simply? This man could have, should I say this? I'm gonna say it. All right, this man could have simply made, like, when he was in his heyday still, right, had like a little thing, introduced a new or a different VTuber, right, and then hold up, hear me out, and then that VTuber talks, right, so that VTuber is himself actually, right, so he's actually promoting himself practically, right, because this is how that other girl did it. I'm just taking it out of her playbook, right, and then once he does that, his magic is never given him. Once he does that, right? Once the expose comes out, and then they start seeing that the mute girl is actually a guy, right? And then they'll start bashing on her, but then he can come out the woodwork and say, well, I'm sorry for all that person did, but listen, I have nothing to do with that, bro. Listen, some people will believe you, some people won't believe you. But listen, he can still have his own little thing going, right? But he put all his eggs in one basket, and then guess what happened? Oops. And now, I don't even know why he showed his face. Because that's just, like, he showed his face showing that was him. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Say, I can't, I'm shy, ha ha ha. I mean, because people weren't going to believe it. But I was stubborn, even though I wanted to continue with the lie.
Once I'm able to,
there, I told myself, how do I convince people that I'm a woman? And I used disability as an excuse. Insane. So there we go. Astria's lie finally explained. On top of that, Astria was found to be scamming for equipment from multiple previous lovers. Indeed, they would buy Astria things or send money, one of them being the purchase of the infamous Oculus headset he later used for VTubing. And even when he rebranded as Koro YN, Astria implied that he might be transgender, which many speculated was another attempt to gain sympathy.
You see, he tried to play the team. What was it saying? I don't remember exactly, but I have like so many ideas and so many things that I'd really like to do, but I'm just unable to. And I remember what I was going to say. When I'm on stream, that's the only real time that I have to do anything. And the crazy thing is, when I'm on stream, I barely do anything. Well, it's just crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. It's like, stream is the only time I have to be able to do anything. But it's also when I'm on stream, I feel like, and I don't blame you guys only, because I gotta blame me. I gotta take accountability, you know. But it's like, we just have too much of a good time, you know, and then I end up not doing anything. But it's why I try to set the things up beforehand, you know. If I could set things up beforehand, then wait, hold up, this is too red. It's dark in there, like, and then like have his arm like burning up. Fast, what's going on? Somebody once told me the world's gonna roll with me. I ain't this opportunity to shit. Of an L on her forehead.
Just scamming people, Astra also had a habit of tearing down other VTubers to boost himself. He trash-talked other VTubers, including his own friends, in an attempt to destroy their reputation. Beyond what was previously talked about in the video, there were also claims that he had organized fake charity events, claiming to raise money for hospitals and disabled individuals, but the donation went directly into his own pocket. One YouTuber did claim to have seen evidence that some donations were actually sent, but there is no concrete proof confirming this. Astra later admitted to taking inspiration from the Italian VTuber Chromia for his Robo-Neko model, but was completely unapologetic about it.
Bro, cool,
when people
like
were speculating that he ripped off the model, he sent the VTuber a super chat saying,
like
Chromia is the inspiration for the Astra model, and the avatar has free right, so anyone can use it, and that people should stop attacking Astria. One other manner where Astria was exposed for trying to pity bait in an obnoxious and vile manner was when he even claimed to be an Asian girl sharing photos of a throat scar to convince his friends of his story. But later, it was also revealed that the image was a flipped and photoshopped picture of a random Asian girl. Seriously messed up. So where is Astria now? Astria's final attempt at redemption failed, and after having all of his lies exposed and after struggling to gain traction over and over again, he finally quit streaming for good. At the end of the day, the Astra controversy isn't just about one person lying. It's about the damages these lies cause to the entire VTuber community. When someone fakes a disability, a tragic past, or their identity just to gain sympathy and money, it hurts real disabled VTubers, real struggling creators, and the trust between fans and streamer. How many times have we heard there's a 30-year-old dude standing behind this VTuber avatar? VTubers already have so many people doubting who they are and what they are that we don't need more of this. We already see people questioning the legitimacy of disabled VTubers as well, assuming that anyone who uses a VTuber avatar is being dishonest about who they are. And this kind of situation only fuels harmful stereotypes and makes it harder for genuine creators to be open about their struggles. And that is why stories like this need to be called out. Not to create negativity, but to ensure that the people who exploit sympathy for personal gain don't ruin it for everybody else. So shout out to my Discord server for submitting this story. If there's a topic you would like me to cover in my next video, or if you would like to join us to talk about anything VTuber related, join our Discord server at discord.gg/Rima. We have a lovely community who
Ooh, this is actually interesting. This might be big brain. I'm playing. You guys don't even know what it is yet. I'm playing. I'm joking.
Cometa Virtual Live is the first Filipino VTuber corporation operated for just 2 years before collapsing amidst scandal. Indeed, it was the first Filipino VTuber agency that turned out to be a rich kid spending his daddy's money on his passion project. and, well, his passion, or his libido, should I say, would end up being its downfall, as revelations from ex-talents and leaked messages exposed a far more troubling reality than the agency's initial public image suggested. A real hotbed of scandal involving the poster child of the agency, Elaine, an attempt at recasting her into a new role, lies, and a secret relationship exposed. Founded in February 2021 by a man named Jira, Cometa launched its first wave of additions in June 2021. The first generation of talents, Elaine, Miria, and Virgil, were revealed in December 2021. For months, Cometa operated relatively smoothly, albeit modestly, collaborating with other agencies and even providing new equipment for Miria to address audio quality issues. So far, so good. The talents were deeply loved by fan bases, and it truly shows in the response I'll show later in the video. This initial period of success, however, would be short-lived. By 2023, the agency was defunct, its accounts deleted or locked, its ex-talents distancing themselves from the tarnished Cometa name. This dramatic downfall was preceded by a series of events that ignited a firestorm of controversy. So let's examine the chain of events that led to Cometa's demise. Now, this story is a slow burn, so make sure to stick around till the end. For those of you who watch my streams, you've probably noticed I'm on an anime training arc, focusing on better eating and exercise because, well, I'm always in front of the computer. And honestly, sticking to that, my schedule had me always ordering food and not making healthy choices. That's where Factor has been such a game changer for me. Factor has helped description below. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone, and thank you for being amazing. Thank you Factor for sponsoring the video. Okay, now back to the main content. The CEO Jira started preparing to realize his dream of owning a VTuber agency, or what some would later call his own personal VTuber harem. He made a few posts on Facebook looking for partners and investors for his Philippine VTuber company. Later on May 12, he posted that his uncle had taken care of all the paperwork for him as well as his investment. My uncle's a huge godsend. He's gonna have his people take care of all the paperwork for me on top of his investment. Absolutely speechless when he offered me that kind of assistance. Do you guys have any idea how many weeks of headaches these things were? I got sidetracked a lot just to remotely understand the process so I can do things on my own. Now that all of these red tape and legal shenanigans are out of the way, I can do what matters now: designing our flagship VTuber and talking to more artists. Finally, he settled on Cometa Virtual Live as his agency name and created a Facebook page for it. First of all, I'll say that while Cometa held the title of the first Philippine VTuber agency ever created, they didn't really operate as an agency, but more so as a VTuber group. Basically, the talents themselves had to do most of the legwork to ensure that the agency ran properly. They hired their own moderators and did all of the networking and outreach themselves, while the CEO was off to his meetings.
Honestly,
what are your meetings, I wonder? Playing Apex ranked in voice call? Of course, at the time, this information hadn't come to light yet, but the agency had no managers, no merch, no advertising of any kind besides Twitter posts. In fact, there was so little resources put in that one of the talent's artists started making collab fan merch just so its talents could get some kind of merchandise for them. Yet the CEO had really high hopes for this agency, often claiming he would one day surpass not just HoloLive.
But yeah, guys, by the way, right now I'm working on this little scene from my story of my character Garren right here finding his wife kind of not looking too good, right? And when he starts going crazy, I added a new scene. It was supposed to end here, but then we added another scene. I might add another one. I kind of might want to add another panel, maybe super crazy, like him up in the air, like Dragon Fist or I don't know, like something. I feel like there's more to the story, you know, because even this, I feel like it's too like basic, even though there's some foreshadowing there. Not bad. Listen. It ain't the best thing in the world, but it's not bad. Truly not bad. Zoe would become a VTuber for 100K a year. Alright, listen. How about this? How about we do this, right? I will make I have to listen, I want to make it fair. Like a fair subscriber count. but I will make my own VTuber model and rig it for like what? Like, I'm trying to think of something because I don't want to go too crazy. Like, I'm not gonna say 1 million, you know. I mean, I'm not gonna say 1 million, but like I want to say something like some pretty, you know. I'm telling you, I will make the I'll make the VTuber model. I'll make the rig, and obviously I gotta do all the research. 10K? You see, I was thinking 10K. 10K is nice. 10K is nice. 10K, and I'll make a VTuber model and rig it. 100K a year? Would you become a VTuber for 100K a year? Sure. Why not? 50K? I mean, I feel like 10K. I mean, okay, let's say 12K. 12K. At 12K, I'll make like I'll have to obviously I have to do my research and everything on how to rig it, because I feel like rigging it is the hardest part, right? So making the model isn't going to be that hard, I don't think, but the rigging part, after I've been watching some videos. 100K a year, of course, you know what? But sure, I'll do that. I guess we're gonna do this now. I might have to put it on the screen somewhere. So at 12K subs, we'll make a VTuber model. Should I like stream the whole journey? I mean, probably not. That would probably take forever. You think? Like every stream past that point will just be me making the model? I mean, it might be like you guys might like that, you know? Like I'm creating my VTuber series. Or would it be better as like a YouTube video series? I don't know. But Phoenix, how's it going? How's it going, man? This part should come down. I'm gonna put it like on the screen somewhere. I'll put like a, obviously I'll have to do it separately, but like I'll put that would be crazy. I'm trying to even think of who I would do. Does smart decisions or don't get scammed. What does Zoro even say? I ain't donating to a VTuber. It's not gonna be a quick thing. Yeah, bro. I've been seeing these people talk about it's taking them like months. Crap. I've been seeing it take people months. Some people like half a year. I don't know. But I feel like I said, it'd be like the thing that I'm focusing on at the time. But like, do I become a VTuber at that point? Because I don't know if I want to become a VTuber. But just because we have like this whole VTuber thing that we've been doing sometimes, you know, just getting involved into it, I'll make one, right? But does that mean I start becoming a VTuber? Oh no. I feel like I'll do like, occasionally when I feel like it, I'll show up as the VTuber, you know? I'll show up as the VTuber. I wonder what character of mine I would have to do Keto, probably, right? I consider myself smart. Really? Sometimes there will be saying some smart stuff. But guys, if you enjoy the stream so far, you know, might as well subscribe. And by the way, if you want to see the VTuber model that I end up making, then definitely subscribe. 12K. Okay. 12K. It's up to you, my guy. I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. Like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna be like a I'll after I do it, I'll I'll stream as the VTuber thing. Like obviously finding out how to do it and everything. But like, I don't know if I'm gonna strictly become a VTuber. Like I'll do occasionally, and like once I'm like really good at it, if we want to push it, like the first one is gonna be like I'll say like Kiro, right? My main character. I'll make a VTuber model of him. Not him. I mean, like, you know who Kiro is, right? And then the next one, I'll make another one of my characters, like a rig of Alchemini, maybe. Alchemini might be hard though, cause she has so many wrinkles. I haven't seen a VTuber model with wrinkles, bro. So Alchemini might be difficult. You know what this? I feel like this, and then a zoom in on her face might be interesting. Don't do it full time. Please make a male VTuber. No, I'll make a male VTuber. But I want to make like I feel like I want to see like Alchemini as a VTuber. I don't know. Roy? So instead of, I mean, we could do Roy instead of Kiro. But I feel like Kiro's like just, he's our like mascot practically. Like he's our cover character. So I feel like it makes sense for me to have one of him. You know? But we can do Roy. Like once, I'm telling you, once I'm like well versed in everything, I'm just gonna be changing them, bro. I'll be like, all right, maybe like first one is 12K, and then the next one, like, because obviously it's gonna take a lot of time, right? The first one is 12K. The next one I'll do, I don't know, whatever I end up doing right after that, right? And then, I mean, obviously depending on like, you know, how people are liking it, and then I'll just have like, I'll just have like 5 of my characters, like VTuber models of them. If you do, you have to find someone to voice her. Listen, Brian, listen, I'm just gonna show her. I'm not going to use it. I just want to like see it like there. But maybe I can have somebody voice Alchemini, but it has to be somebody like with a presence to her, you know? Because Alchemini ain't no just a random person. Hold up, let me see if I can pull up Alchemini real fast. To anybody who's new here, Alchemini is this character. Nope, this character's mom, and I'm about to show you her. Give me a second. Where's she? Where? All right, right here. This character right here. Because she has so many wrinkles, bruh. I wonder like how her face is going to move. You know? And it's definitely going to have to be like a, what do you call it? Wait, what the heck? It's definitely gonna have to be like some, like a half body rig or a half body VTuber, because I've seen people do like full body ones, and I don't know about that. So yeah, this character right here. Wait, what the heck? What the heck? It's bugging out again. It's bugging out again. Should I crash it again? Yeah, let me crash it again. I want to voice the characters. Oh, you want to voice a character? I thought you said you want to voice Alchemini. I was about to say, no, thank you, sir. I am not letting you voice Alchemini. But yeah, so this is her right here. And this right here is my main character, Kiro, right here. So, this lady, like, do you guys, and because like her nose and everything, I feel like we could still potentially make it work. But do you guys know any VTubers who are just look old? Like an old lady VTuber? Is she gonna be moving like, nah. Listen, she ain't gonna be moving like this chick up here. She ain't gonna be moving like this lady.
Besides
nah, she ain't doing all this.
In fact, there was so
But yeah, it'd be fun. But that's if you guys really want. So I'm gonna put like a thing So next stream I'm gonna hopefully have it up. I'll have like a sub goal to that for that if you guys are interested in it, and we'll see. And we'll see. I guess. I guess. Let's go back to. Ooh, what about a Martha one, Bri? I feel like she always has to have like a whatchamacallit face. You know? Like she always has to have like that stank look in her face, like who the heck is you, you know? Come on. Like I think the first one will definitely be like a half one because that one will obviously be faster and it's like my first VTuber. So it'll definitely be like a half thing. And then I guess the next one will be like maybe full body or depending on how far it goes. You know what I mean? Cuz I've seen people do full body ones. But like depending on how far it goes, we'll do it that way. I'm actually excited about this. It'll be cool. This is cool. But like I said, it's all up to you guys. If you guys want it. Yeah, there's no smiling. Bri. You can never get this character to smile. But that's the thing. Because I've seen people do VTuber things, right? But now I'm trying to think. Like, because of my style. So the VTuber will look... Because I'm making it, right? So the VTuber will look in my style? Or the VTuber model? That's so trippy. So interesting. I was trying to turn my characters into VTuber models. And if my voice actor do nice streams? Really? That'd be really cool for like promotional also. If anything. If you get like VTuber models done. Like let's say an anime were to get a VTuber model done, right? Of their character and then have the voice actor voice the model. That'd be so interesting. Yeah, your style. But they'll move. I know that's bright. That's why it's just tripping me. I'm like, yo, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. Because I've seen people do like their character, but like I said, I know it's gonna take some time. So, would you guys like the streams to be me making the model? Would you guys like that? Crap, of course. One of these days, we're gonna find out how to get this thing to work differently. Yeah? Okay then, I guess we'll do that. I guess that's what we'll do.
So little resources put in that one of the talent's artists started making collab fan merch just so its talents could get some kind of merchandise for them. Yet the CEO had really high hopes for this agency, often claiming he would one day surpass not just Hololive and Niji Sanji, but also every other entertainment industry on Earth. He adds, yeah, pretty cringy to say now, but I will come back to this in 5 years. That comment aged like milk. But Jira didn't seem so interested in the nook and crannies of running a VTuber agency. After all that work is complicated and
you know
boring.
I think I do, Brad?
No, Jira...
After I do... Oh, this is the last time I'm pausing. After I do like a because I feel like Kiro has to be the main one because he's, like I said, he's a poster child. After I do him, we can put like probably like a poll, like for the next one that we will do, and then whatever wins that poll, then we'll do.
Wanted to be an e-celebrity of his own. He wanted everybody to know how rich and important he was. The first red flags were the weird and inappropriate comments he would frequently post, especially regarding the assistant he hired, whom he calls Assistant Chan, and another member of the staff he added, whom we will refer to as Staff Chan. There's at least 6 instances of Jira posting photos with Staff Chan, which can only be categorized as cringe and unprofessional for someone running a VTuber agency. And since I've seen them, now you need to as well. He often posts.
What the heck? You have. Oh, yes. Yes, of course, bro. Of course. I'm not like, that's what I'm saying, like, if you guys would rather me do it straight on stream, because I'm not going to not do everything else. It's just, I'll still be posting. I'll still be posting, because let's say I stream for like 8 hours. No. Let's say I stream for like 6 hours, right? I'll just spend like 6 hours a day or 6 hours like on the days that I stream on working on the VTuber model, you know? But like I said, I feel like it's the rigging that's going to be the hardest part. So like, and depending on like how I can even I mean, I might be able to still stream the rigging process, but like I'll be doing it while I'm on stream. Everything else that I do off stream, I'll be doing it. Like, I'll still be posting like art and other things like that. But as soon as I boot up the stream, we instantly are going to start working on the VTuber model, if that makes sense. So it's not like going to take away from everything else, because that's practically what I do anyway. Am I cool?
Posted close-ups of photos of him near Staff Chan's chest or simply of her chest alone, while making weird innuendos and captions such as Staff Chan had to head out.
Listen, this is not even weird. I just really want to read what it says. There's okay.
Windows and captions such as Staff Chan had to head out because her back hurts and I gave her more work to do, but I made sure we all enjoyed our days. Or in another post he writes, one more staff post because she wants this uploaded as well. Gonna be the last one for now. During the product shoot, pre-order in a few days, she needed to stay warm, so I lent her my favorite Hanten. It looks really nice on her, but the straps broke because of how tight it was. Broken pic in comments, not posting more of this anytime soon because I don't want to look like I'm running a different flavor of entertainment company. Skull emoji. It's even ironic that he claims they were on a product photo shoot and that the merch pre-order would start in a few days, yet never released this merch. All this to say, it really reads like Jira wants to pose as this CEO who gets tons of women, often posting about his staff members inappropriately or meeting them IRL, which in turn of course sparked numerous rumors about the two of them. Another player in this story is Assistant Chan, as I've mentioned before. Jira would also make inappropriate comments about his assistant, saying things such as, I love the taste of milk, referring to his assistant name, which is, well, Milk. Assistant Chan also had rumors of her being in a relationship with Jira, the CEO, but I haven't found any conclusive evidence besides them exchanging some Twitter terse posts and fan arts. Assistant Chan Twitter account is now privated. The CEO often shirked from responsibilities and important communication with his talents on things he had promised them, such as a new outfit, a new cover, and more. While he was ignoring the talents on important issues, he would simultaneously respond within minutes to fan queries. One instance where he really dropped the ball for his talents was when he promised an outfit to Virgil at the condition that she reached 15,000 subscribers. 1 year into her tenure, while Virgil was streaming.
Never mind. I was about to say, at a certain point, right, like if it starts getting crazy, I'll just like Never mind. I'm about to go see it.
Gaming Made in Abyss, Jira came into her chat and tells her at 15,000 subscribers he will gift her a new outfit and a new rig on her base as well.
7K subs milestone, I'll get you a new rig on your base too. Okay. So 15K subs means I get a new outfit, right? The non-outfit is just a clip-on.
Yet, once she started getting close to this goal,
listen,
he started.
There's none. I'm not saying nothing. Okay, I'm just saying. Imagine alchemy. Never mind. You see, sometimes it's like I'm thinking while I'm speaking. I mentioned this before, right? So sometimes I start thinking ahead, and I'm like, you know what? I probably shouldn't say this. That's fine.
Started being evasive and vague to her in private. Virgil assumed the project was moving along. She even sent him a preliminary design, which we can see here. Once she finally reached the 15,000 subscriber milestone with the help of her very supportive community who all came together to make it happen, Jira started ghosting her. Heck, she even had a stream titled "Begging my boss to give me a new outfit as he promised." But after weeks of no response, Virgil went live and complained about the situation. This made it so Jira had to respond. He showed up in her chat and admitted that the outfit wouldn't happen. I wanted to place the commission, but the cash flow wasn't optimal since some months ago. Invested her time, effort, and support in her success. In October 2022, Virgil's computer malfunctioned due to the excessive dust buildup. Despite the talent's repeated refusal, Jira, the Cometa founder, publicly shared an image of the damaged computer on the agency's Twitter account, ostensibly to boost their numbers. This act of blatant disregard for Virgil's wishes...
Whatever said, whatever see. Alright. I'm not gonna say the first one because the first one is crazy, but the second one is not too bad. But I was wondering, like, imagine, because you said I have to find somebody to voice her. I was thinking, what if the person, like, had a voice like her and voiced Alchemini? That would be the craziest thing. I'd be like, because like I said, I've already showed you guys the idea that I'm thinking of, like, for an Alchemini voice. This was many years ago. And it was of the, what's her name, from one of Bride's games. What is her name? She's from Soul Calibur. The voice of the person that I was thinking of for Alchemini. And I was wondering, it has to be somebody who's able to go with that range with the voice. But like I said, it's not like I'm gonna use Alchemini's VTuber model much. I'll just have it there. But like, I don't even know if I would like gift it to somebody, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, it's still Alchemini, like my character, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, like at a certain point, depending on like how we are after, in time and stuff, I could have somebody, yeah, I think that's her, bro. But I could have somebody stream, like let's say I were to have like another YouTube or something channel, or even this one, depending on how things are moving, and I'll have people like Alchemini, a character who voices Alchemini, stream on the channel, right? And then the next time or something, whatever other thing we can have them stream that character also, you know what I mean? Like I'll have my own streaming agency with my characters. I'm taking over the VTuber game, VTuber world. I'm kidding. I'm so kidding right now. A whole bunch of these VTuber people are gonna come after me like, he doesn't even really know the etiquette and the stuff about us, and he's over here talking about he's gonna take over. I don't need that. I've seen these people already. Chill. Calm down.
This caused significant distress, reducing her to tears during a Twitter space. The image remains online to this day, highlighting the agency's disregard for its talent's boundaries and well-being. And this image was once again shown to a wider audience in April when Komeda was invited to the con called OnLive. The dusty computer image was once again brought up on a screen during a presentation.
I'm drawing here. Next slide.
Wait, what the heck? Is that dust or is that a carpet? That looks like a carpet.
Right here. Please. Alright, you're free to take a vote.
To which the audience laughed at, as it was the butt of the joke, and while it was initially believed that Jira was the one who brought this idea forward, in the midst of all the backlash the agency would later receive, it was...
If there's anybody that I would scam, never mind. I'm not even gonna say that. I would never scam. I would never, I would never. I would never be out here scamming people. Come on now. Come on. You don't even need to worry about that. You'll never see me on one of these videos, this chick talking about the new streaming company, ZoTubers. It looks like he's in some scandal. Nah, you ain't gonna see me on that. Nah. Never. Never.
Was in fact Jay Agonoy, a journalist from VTuber News, who had actually sourced the image from Komeda's Twitter feed and apologized for his lack of oversight and took accountability for his mistake. So this one isn't totally on Jira, but it's definitely something that could have been easily avoided if the image was not posted in the first place as Virgil wanted, or even if it was removed at any point after. Virgil was then seen responding to this apology positively, replying, "It's okay, bro, you didn't know. Don't beat yourself up too much."
First of all, I don't even know nothing about this crypto stuff. If anybody came to me talking about, hey, we're this company, we're involved with this crypto thing, I don't care how much money they're giving me, honestly, I couldn't do it. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much money they give me, while I'm spending that money, I'm just going to be thinking, yo, you know how many people I've done scammed? Nah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't sleep at night, man. I can't do it.
About it. However, the general consensus remained that Jira should have at any point during the presentation been firmer about not showing the photo. During that same OnLive con, there was another mishap. Jira had asked the talents if they wanted to perform live, but did not inform the talents properly that this was meant to be a on-site performance and not a pre-recorded performance. Virgil and Elaine had volunteered to perform live, assuming they would broadcast the performance from their usual setup. But on the day of the event, as they were waiting in their home for the performance to begin, the OnLive staff asked them where they were, as they rightfully thought they would be performing at the con IRL. It's crazy to think that the CEO never even bothered to put two and two together and explain to them the difference between a live performance and a pre-recorded one, which left both talents scrambling to put on a pre-recorded performance together, and fans disappointed that it wasn't a live experience as advertised. Virgil talks about her OnLive experience in this clip.
I thought what I was going to do was sing live on like Discord or whatever, and then they would broadcast it to the venue, right? So I was confused when they were like, Virgil, you said you were gonna sing live, right? Where are you? I'm like, well, I'm at my house, I'm waiting for it. I'm like, no, you have to be at the venue.
I'm at my house, I'm waiting for you.
I live 5 hours from the venue.
That is crazy.
And I was like, wait, Gira didn't tell us anything
I'm
about
at my house,
this.
I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Pre-record your stuff. Oh my god! Live means not using your VTuber model. Live means not being on the screen. Live means being a human being standing on the stage with a mic, and I am not doing that. We are not even allowed to do that in the first place. But Mira didn't know because nobody told her, like Bossa didn't tell her. She did say if she knew it was pre-recorded, she would have joined too.
Jira then acted like nothing happened and took to Twitter to brag about his experience. However, so far, all of these events could be chalked up to immaturity or irresponsibility. What was really the spark that ended up triggering a domino effect was the graduation announcement of the agency's poster girl, Elaine. Now, the graduation notice itself was fine. It explained how Elaine had to graduate due to several insurmountable health concerns following her recent diagnosis of diabetes. Elaine also had prior issues. The statement reads, "She has been working with us streaming and making music for her fans despite struggling with deafness in her left ear, chronic pain due to a herniated spinal disc, and schizoaffective disorder. However, after lengthy discussions after her latest checkup, we have come to an agreement that graduation is necessary to help her manage her symptoms." The notice itself was received pretty well from fans and her genmates who all wished Elaine support and to get better. Elaine then went live for her graduation stream, but what happened next shocked the entire VTuber community, including Elaine's genmates.
It's hard to let go of who I was as Elaine. But since, Cometa has limited resources and there's just so much that Cometa can deal with during my graduation, I decided that I will be keeping touch with the management in choosing the next Elaine to take my place and make sure they're able to do justice to my character.
During that stream, Elaine tearfully explained that she had agreed to a replacement for her VTuber model, meaning someone else would take on the role of Elaine. Yeah. If you're new to the VTuber community, just know that this is a huge taboo. Essentially,
but that's
reducing
the thing though, Brian.
The VTuber
with mine though, they gonna have to deal with it because, like, Alchemy is, Alchemy. If somebody were to leave voicing Alchemy, Alchemy still gonna be out there. So y'all gonna have to deal with it. You see, I'm breaking the rules a little bit, right? The VTuber people are gonna go at me on Twitter. He can't do that. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You have to deal with it, brother.
Their avatar and character persona. But what fans really cared about has always and will always be the person behind the VTuber. This is something that has happened in the past with the controversial agency Wactor, who had attempted to recast some of the VTubers they terminated. Similarly, Kizuna Ai's voice actress had also been replaced, sparking backlash from fans. Kizuna Ai ended up refuting these claims in 2021, however her brand has suffered and never would be the same again. So I'm not sure why Cometa or even Elaine thought this would play out any differently. Needless to say, her fans did not take these news well, her chat begging to let Elaine leave with her legacy and to not replace her. This situation then caused a massive public outcry, her genmates Virgil and Miria also expressing that they don't want Elaine to be replaced by someone else. Following Elaine's departure, fans launched a petition opposing the reuse of her model, a move propelled by the emotional investment in the character and the desire to protect her legacy. The agency's silence in the face of this outcry, coupled with Virgil and Miria's public endorsement of the petition as they retweeted it, further fueled the controversy and underscored the growing dissatisfaction with Cometa's handling of the situation. The petition itself claimed they felt that Elaine had been reading from a script while speaking out about how being replaced was her own decision, and also highlighted how both Virgil and Miria had spoken out about this decision, albeit obliquely, and have mentioned that they were unable to say anything further about the situation despite clearly wanting to. The two remaining VTubers' lack of streaming as well as their recent tweets also.
So many of them. This part off so I can leave it without any lines. I can have the smoke right there, and then I'll erase it back in. Ooh, this is looking clean. I haven't drawn like smoke like this in a minute. Let's use a halftone brush. Look at the halftones right there. But yeah, I feel like that's why a lot of people get mad when people start faking these illnesses and stuff too. Cause it's like, yo, there's people out here like that one girl we found out yesterday. She has she still has the C word, right? And Kat was like monetizing it, and she didn't like it. It's like every one of these VTubers, not every one of them, but a lot of them, they still doing their thing, and they out here like with like full blown illnesses and stuff. It's wild, truly.
Also depict clear emotional distress about Elaine's situation, as well as an inability to accept it. The statement reads, "We fans have grown to not only love the characters, but the people behind them as well. Simply put, for everyone involved, there is only one Elaine, and nobody asked for this to happen." As the news went viral and the backlash from the community mounted, Komeda then decided to release a second statement to clarify concerns and offer a compromise to the fans. To our supporters, in the interest of addressing the concerns raised by the community, we would like to make clarifications and changes regarding our course of action following Elaine's graduation. First, we would like to clarify that having a new talent take on the role of Komeda's flagship VTuber was Elaine's choice.
Dang.
It was her decision to ensure that there will be a VTuber to carry Komeda's branding and vision. We respect Elaine's wishes in this regard, and audition staff will be working with her to select the new talent. Secondly, while this talent will carry the legacy of Komeda's flagship VTuber, we would like to make it clear that she will be a separate personality from Elaine. To make the distinction, we will be using a different name and a modified design for her model.
I mean,
And
why
third,
use the model at all
following
then?
community feedback, we amend the decision to private/unlist Elaine's stream content. These videos will not continue to be available for everyone to view. I would like to reassure all of our supporters that this is not a standard practice for all of Komeda's VTubers like Virgil and Miria. All of our talents have always been irreplaceable to me, Komeda staff, and the community, as all of them have worked hard to build Komeda to what it is today. It was only due to Elaine's request her...
And by the way,